All right. So there are two special debt instruments that I want to mention besides the bonds and stocks. The first one is the treasury securities, and the other one is mortgages. So the treasury securities means the governments, right, borrow money from the loanable funds market too, and they borrow significant amount. So when we say the government, it includes state government, local government, and federal government. In particular, the US federal government has over 15, 16 trillion dollars of debt, which is about $50,000 per citizen right now. Our federal government utilizes the bond market for its borrowing. So when the government comes to, this loanable funds market, the government issues the treasury securities, okay? So this is the bonds that we're talking about, the US government sells, okay? It's called treasury securities. And the treasury securities have different names depending on the time to maturity. For example, people call this T, okay? T bonds, treasury bonds. T-bills, treasury bills, and T-notes, treasury notes, right? It depends on the time to maturity. T-bill is less than a year, okay? T-note is between 1 year to 10 years, and T-bonds is longer than 10 years. The treasury securities, I should have said that. So the treasury securities, when it's sold the first time, it's not just like anyone can come in and buy it. It is sold. They are sold at an auction, and this auction will be held to determine the interest rate for those treasury bonds, treasury bills, and treasury notes. Treasury securities is considered very low risk and also very critical for monetary policy. So what does it mean? Treasury securities turn out to be very important in macroeconomics and finance, play a very central role in conducting monetary policy that we will come back and give you more details on this in chapters 17 and 18. And on top of that, Treasury securities is really active secondary market. The primary market is an auction, but after that, a very active secondary market. That is why there's really high demand, because you can always find someone to buy the treasury securities from you. The second debt instrument is mortgages. What are mortgages? Mortgages, most individuals cannot finance a home purchase with cash, right? And because of that, they have to use loans to pay for homes. This is called the loan on, payments for home is called mortgage. So the mortgage, the most common mortgage loan lasts about 30 years from inception and is paid off with 360 monthly payments over the course of 30 years. So see, it's similar to the bond that we were talking about, right? You have a price at inception, and then time to maturity, and how much is the value. So each month the homeowner pays back part of the principal, which is the amount borrowed, plus the interest rate, right? Plus the interest. So historically, fixed rate mortgages are the most popular, very popular type of home loan, meaning that the interest rate is constant over time. However, mortgage pattern did change during the early 2000s, leading to 2008 recession. All right, so again, you can think of mortgages as a variation on bonds, right? A family wants to buy a home, so they take a mortgage loan, just like selling a bond. That, hey, I promise you that I will pay back in 360 installments over the 30 years and so on, right? All right, so let's take a look at this diagram. So these are countries that are the foreign major holders of US treasuries. So there are times in the midst of heated political debate that politicians threaten actions that would lead to United States default on government bonds. But this is generally considered political, rhetoric, right? Because given the current state of the world economy, where foreign governments own billions and billions of dollars in U.S. Treasury securities, it would almost certainly lead to a global financial meltdown if the United States defaulted on Treasury debt. So politically, many people are concerned about China, in particular in Japan, right, owning too much of American debt. Foreigners hold approximately 30-ish% of the US government debt. China alone owns about 10% almost now of total US debt, and it's kind of alarming, right? But I already gave you a reason why it's really helpful for the US economy to have foreign savings come to buy treasury bonds, treasury bills, and treasury notes. And so this diagram showing the home mortgage market in United States that expanded greatly leading up to the recession in 2008. Take a look for year 2000 all the way to 2007, right? 2001 to 2007, the mortgage market is really expanding. But let's go back a little further. 1982, there was only $2.2 trillion in home mortgages in the United States, but by 2008, this market expanded to over $11 trillion. Okay, $11 trillion. So during the recession and after the recession, the mortgage market began to fall sharply, right? It's really falling very sharply. All right, so now here's the last important part, securitization. What is a securitization? This is a creation of the new security as a combination of other securities and loan agreements, right? So we kind of bundle up several things together. Pieces of other securities, we bundle them up. This is securitization, is also called derivatives, okay? So financial securities and other loan agreements like student loans, home mortgages, channel funds from savers to borrowers, right? Okay, so opportunities for both firms and individuals expand when credit is available. So when we bundle up different assets together, right, it diversifies the risk, and this should lowers the interest rate. So when interest rates are lower, investment opportunities expand for everything from factories to roads to homes to education. So this is when we bundle things up together. It offers new opportunities for lenders, right? So student loan, home mortgage markets may not exist without the risk diversification of securitization. So this is why secondary markets are so important. When securities are sellable, they are more valuable, and this reduces the interest rates for the underlying loans. Let me repeat it again. When you bundle up a lot of mortgages together, okay, so that, and these securities are sellable and is valuable, so it will reduce the interest rates for the underlying loans, which is the new mortgage loans, right? So it's true for any asset. So the securitization actually lowers the interest rates for borrowers. It also offers new opportunities for lenders to make more, loans. Now, what is the securitization? The securitization, one of the example is called mortgage-backed securities. These mortgage-backed securities are created through the process of securitization. So in this figure, as you can see, the this security is created, this mortgage-backed security. This is the process of securitization and create a new security here. What is this security? So this security is a combination or bundle of mortgages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? In this case, there are 5 mortgages to the Russells, the Smiths, the Warrington, the Waterman, and the Jacksons, right? So these are 5 different households that borrow money from whatever, maybe the bank. When you bundle them up together, okay, when you bundle them up together, this new security is more marketable since the default risk is already diversified over 5 different mortgages, right? So they are diversified with a hope that all these 5 different mortgages will not default at the same time, right? So you diversify the risk. And for yourself in a few years, maybe you may use a mortgage to buy a home. After you do this, there's a chance that your mortgage will be bundled together with others into a big security that can be bought and sold. So the mere existence of this market means you will pay lower interest rates than without this market. So the market for these mortgage-backed securities allows banks to make more loans and expand home ownership rates, right? Because when they can find investor to buy these bonds or these securities, then they have more funds to, create more loans. All right, so I'm not going to go too far into the securitization, but just so you know, that's an instrument that can be created based on some underlying assets, and this is called securitization process. And this bond or this security, the mortgage-backed security, is the derivative that derive its value from 5 different mortgages. All right, we're done with chapter 10.